Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about key phrases about room. If you master these phrases, you will become a fluent English speaker. So let's begin our journey. First, I will discuss all those adjectives that we can use with the word room. So let's begin. The living room, the sitting room, or the lounge room. Or all these names refer to any room in your house or in a building which you can use to relax or to entertain guests, right? So example sentences: I was in the living room watching TV when I heard the news. I was in the living room watching TV when I heard the news. Next is a drawing room. A drawing room. It is a large room in a large house where people sit and relax or entertain guests. It is meant for large houses. The example sentence is: I visited a country house. Again, we've already learned this thing. A country house is a house that is on a village side. And it is a very big house out there. I visited a country house on the weekend. I was served the meal in the drawing room. They gave me meal in the drawing room. I visited a country house on the weekend. I was served the meal in the drawing room. Next is a waiting room. For example, if you go to a station or a hospital to meet a doctor, there you have to wait for a certain time before your turn, right? So you generally sit in a room. You call that room a waiting room. Like a waiting room is mostly like this. There are seats, chairs, or sofas. You sit there and you wait for your turn. The seats in the waiting room were hard and very uncomfortable. The seats in the waiting room were hard and very uncomfortable. Then we have a dining room. A room where you sit and you eat your meals, especially dinner. So example sentence is: breakfast was on the table when she entered the dining room. Breakfast was on the table when she entered the dining room. Next is a single room or a twin room or a double room. When you go to a hotel, for example, you might be staying a night in a city or in a foreign place for a night. You generally hire or book a room. So when you go to the hotel reception, they ask you for whether do you need a single room. A single room means a bedroom for one person only, and it has only one bed. A double room, it is meant for two people, but there is only one large bed, right? One large bed, two people can sleep on that bed, so you call it a double room. Then we have a twin room. It is a bedroom for two people and there are two separate beds for them to sleep. This is a little technical difference between these twin and double room. The example sentence is: I'd like to book a double room with a balcony and sea view, please. I'd like to book a double room with a balcony and sea view, please. Next is a tidy or an untidy room. It simply means a clean room or unclean room. Clean is tidy and unclean is untidy, right? So example sentence is: my sister's room is always tidy, but mine is always in a mess. My sister's room is always neat and clean, but mine is always in a mess. Next is a bare room or empty room. A bare room or empty room refers to a room where there's nothing. Might be no furniture, no chairs, no beds, nothing at all. It might have been newly constructed. Or you might have a spare room in your house where nothing is there, right? So you call that room a bare room or empty room. I was asked to wait inside a bare room. I was asked to wait inside a bare room. Next, a locked room. The room is locked when it is locked, right? We need to find someone with a key. The room is locked. We need to find someone with a key. The room's locked. Next, we have a bright room, an airy room. You're going to use an here, an airy room or a light room. Bright room or light room refers to the same idea where there's a lot of light, right? Then airy room is a room with lots of windows, might be where air can easily come and go. So the example sentence is, the kitchen is a very bright room. It gets the sun most of the day. The kitchen is a very bright room. It gets the sun most of the day. Next we have the next room. You are the room. Next we have the next room. The room that is next to your room. The room that is beside your room. Example sentence is, for example, this is your room and there is another room, right? You share a wall with that room. So this is your next room. Example sentence is, someone was laughing in the next room. Someone was laughing in the next room. Then we have, they were in the next room and we could hear every word they said. They were in the next room and we could hear every word they said. Next we have a comfortable room, a cozy room, a warm room. Again, these three words refer to almost the same idea. Cozy word, in British English you might write like this, cozy. In American English you write with a Z, right? So they all refer to a room that is not very large and that is very warm, right? In those Western countries, in UK or in USA, generally it is very cold. So people call warm room a cozy room because it's kind of warm. You don't feel cold when you are in that room. So you call that cozy room. A comfortable room, a cozy room, a warm room. The hotel offers comfortable rooms. The hotel offers comfortable rooms. Next we have, a room can be a small, it can be tiny. They both refer to the same idea. Small, right? Each apartment consists of the 3 small rooms. Each apartment consists of 3 small rooms. Next we have a large room, a spacious room, or a big room. Large and big, they're almost the same. Spacious, again, it refers to large, with a room that has a lot of space for things or people. The example sentence is, the house has a spacious living room. The house has a spacious living room. Next is the spare room. In very simple words, it means an extra room, right? That you generally don't use. It is spare. Example sentence is, if you want to stay the night, you can sleep in the spare room. If you want to stay the night, you can sleep in the spare room. Next we have a crowded room. A room that has a lot of people inside. We call that room a crowded room. Example sentence is, at the party, the sitting room was so crowded, there was nowhere to sit. At the party, the sitting room was so crowded, there was nowhere to sit. Next we have a guest room. It is a room in a hotel or in your house where visitors or guests can sit, relax, or at times sleep. So you call that room a guest room. If you can't find a room in a hotel at this time, you are welcome to stay in our guest room. If you can't find a room in a hotel at this time, you are welcome to stay in our guest room. You might have a house that is very big house and it has lots of rooms, and you've reserved one room for a guest. You call that a guest room. So this sentence is for that situation. In the office or in the universities, we have a conference room, a meeting room, or a lecture room where you can hold conferences or meetings, or you can have lectures, right? So you call those rooms conference rooms or meeting rooms or lecture rooms. Example sentence is, the hotel has a large conference room available for hire. So you can hire that conference room. It is available for hire. The hotel has a large conference room available for hire. Next we have a common room. It is a room inside a university or school where people can sit, talk, and relax. Again, a room inside university or school where you can relax, where students can relax. After taking 3 classes in a row, the students went into the common room for a little rest. In a row means consecutive classes, one class after another, right? After taking 3 classes in a row, the students went into the common room for a little rest. Up till now, we've discussed different adjectives that you can use with room. In next part of the video, I'll be discussing about different verbs that we can use with the word room. So let's have a look. You can share a room. Share is when 2 people are living or 2 or more people are living inside the same room. So you call it share a room. Example sentence is, I used to share a room with my younger brother when I was young. I used to share a room with my younger brother when I was young. So that is how there are two beds. See, these two people are sharing a room. Then stay in a room. Stay in a room. You spend time. You may sleep there. That is where you sleep. You stay in a room. Example sentence is, I'm staying in room 43. I'm staying in room 43. Next we have all these phrases. Leave a room, come out of a room, or go out of a room, step out of a room, or walk out of a room. All these phrases mean leave the room. This is the room, and when you go out of this room. So you can use any of these phrases. Leave a room, come out of a room, or go out of a room, step out of a room, or walk out of a room. Example sentences. All of a sudden, it started to rain. I went out of my room to enjoy the pleasant weather. All of a sudden, it started to rain. I went out of my room to enjoy the pleasant weather. Next is, his remarks made Nancy angry, so she walked out of the room. His remarks made Nancy angry, so she walked out of the room. Next we have a situation. For example, this is your room, and when you come inside your room, right? So you can call it enter a room, come into a room, or go into a room, or step into a room, or walk into a room. You have a variety here. You can use any of these phrases to refer to this situation. Example sentences. He was very happy when he walked into the room. He was very happy when he walked into the room. Next we have burst into a room, or run into a room, or rush into a room, or hurry into a room. When you enter the room very suddenly. You can use any of these phrases, right? Example sentences. He burst into the room and rushed towards me. He burst into the room and rushed towards me. Next we have run out of a room, or rush out of a room, or hurry out of a room. All these situations refer to when you leave your room very suddenly, right? When you leave your room very suddenly. Example sentences. He received a call and rushed out of a room. He received a call and rushed out of a room. After the call, he rushed out of a room. Next we have storm out of a room. Storm out of a room. When you leave suddenly the room because you're angry. Something bad happened inside the room and you got angry and you just left the room. You stormed out of the room. Example sentences. Janet started arguing and then stormed out of the room. Just because of this argument, she got angry and she left the room all of a sudden. Janet started arguing and then stormed out of the room. Next we have occupy a room or vacate a room. These are the opposite. Occupy is when you live inside a room. Vacate a room when you leave it permanently. Might be in a hotel. So when you go back to your home, so you leave that room and you tell them that I won't be living in that room. So you vacate that room. Guests are requested to vacate their rooms by 11 a.m. Guests are requested to vacate their rooms by 11 a.m. Till 11 a.m. they can stay inside those rooms, but the guests are not supposed to be living in that room after 11. Next is paint a room, or decorate a room, or furnish a room. Paint is again a simple idea, like when you paint your room. You paint yellow or brown or whatever color you like, color of your liking, right? You decorate a room. You might put some fancy furniture or some other decoration out there in your room. When you furnish a room, you might put furniture. Again, all these ideas, you put stuff inside your room. So all these ideas somehow related. Example sentences are, the hotel rooms are painted with bright colors. The hotel rooms are painted with bright colors. All rooms are furnished in a traditional style. All rooms are furnished in a traditional style. Next we have clean up your room or tidy your room. Clean up your room or tidy your room means clean your room. You always promise that you would tidy your room, but you never do it. You always promise that you would tidy your room, but you never do it. After the party, I had to clean up the room. After the party, I had to clean up the room. When you go to a hotel, you book a room, you hire a room, or you rent a room. You can use any of these phrases. We hired a room for a party. We hired a room for a party. I rented a room while looking for a house to buy. I rented a room while looking for a house to buy. I wanted to buy a house, so I didn't have any space to live. I rented a room for living. Then we have let out rooms. When you allow other people to live in your rooms and they would pay money to you. So that is what you call let out rooms. We have a very large house with lots of rooms. We let out our spare rooms to the students. We have a very large house with lots of rooms. We let out our spare rooms to the students. We give those rooms, we allow those students to live inside our house in those particular rooms, and they would pay money to us every week or every month. Then we have a room looks onto something. A room looks onto something like this. Here you can, if you stand here, you can look something outside the room. So your room looks onto something. The rich man is staying in a room that looks onto the sea. The rich man is staying in a room that looks onto the sea. Next we have look around the room. Look around the room means you search the room for a specific thing. I looked around the room, but I couldn't find my bag. I was looking for my bag. So I looked around the room, but I couldn't find it. I looked around the room, but I couldn't find my bag. Then we have our last phrase of this video. Stand across the room. Stand across the room. It is when this is your room, you're standing here, or somebody is standing here, might be. So on the other side of the room. So this person, so B is standing across the room with reference to A, right? So this is what you call stand across the room. She was standing across the room from me. She was standing across the room from me. So that's the end of the video. I hope you've learned a lot of phrases regarding room. So subscribe, like, and share with your friends and fellows. Thank you for watching the video.